The railway station is alive with the screeching of trains along the tracks, the clattering of suitcases, and the hurried steps of commuters. But in the shadows, beneath a crumbling pillar, sits Samir, a man forgotten by the world. His clothes are torn, his face gaunt, his eyes hollow with hunger and despair. In his outstretched hand, a rusted tin cup trembles, once an instrument of hope, now just a silent plea for mercy. Commuters rush past, too busy to notice him. To them, he is invisible, just another fixture of the station, a man lost to time. Samir's lips move in silent prayers, his words swallowed by the roaring noise around him. The station is a symphony of life, yet he remains frozen in stillness. His hand trembles, waiting, hoping for someone, anyone, to see him. Even a candy wrapper that flutters nearby seems to have more worth than he does. 5 years ago, Samir was a different man. He had a family, a wife who believed in him, and a daughter whose laughter filled their modest home. They lived in a small apartment, its walls echoing with the sounds of hope, love, and dreams. They were poor, but their hearts were rich with the promise of a better future. But fate is never kind. A factory fire swallowed his job, leaving him unemployed. Medical bills devoured his savings, and pride? It kept him silent, too proud to ask for help, too late to save his family. His wife left, taking his daughter with her. Her last words still haunt him. You can't even feed her. Now, he sits in the station, his heart broken, his dreams shattered. The flickering fluorescent lights mock him, a cold reminder of what he used to be. His memories of laughter, warmth, and love are all that remain. The harsh, bright lights above bring nothing but pain. And Samir? He is alone, with only his broken spirit for company. One evening, as Samir holds out his tin cup, a well-dressed man steps off the train. He is Mr. Kapoor, sharp suit, sharp eyes, the kind of man who commands attention. Samir, desperate, crawls forward, his cup trembling in his hand. His voice is a whisper, barely audible over the roar of the station. Sahib, please. Mr. Kapoor stops, his gaze cold, disinterested. He looks down at Samir, his eyes calculating, emotionless. You beg every day, he says, but what do you give? Samir's heart sinks. His hands shake as the cup slips from his fingers. Give? I have nothing. His voice cracks under the weight of his reality, his desperation laid bare for all to see. The businessman's laugh is harsh, cutting through the air like a blade. Then you deserve nothing. He turns to leave, but not before dropping a 500 rupee note at Samir's feet. It is not an act of kindness, but a challenge, a dare disguised as charity. Samir stares at the note, his heart heavy. It is both a gift and a curse. And for the first time in years, he wonders, what does it mean to truly give? That night, Samir lies awake, the 500 rupee note burning in his hand. He does not know what to do with it. But the next morning, as sunlight spills through the grimy windows of the station, Samir notices something small, fragile, and beautiful. A wildflower growing from a crack in the concrete. It is a symbol of hope, fragile, yet defiant, ignored by the world, but still standing strong. Samir picks the flower gently, its petals soft and trembling in his rough hands. For the first time in years, he feels a spark of something beyond survival. This, I have this. It is small, but it is enough. The next morning, Samir is a different man. His shoulders are straighter, his head held higher. He extends the flower to a woman rushing past, offering it with a quiet smile. For kindness, he says. The woman pauses, surprised. then accepts the flower. Hours later, she returns with a tiffin box filled with rice, dal, and a boiled egg. "For the man who gave me hope," she whispers. Word spreads quickly. A flower for a smile, a garland for a coin. Samir's corner transforms. His stall, once empty and forgotten, blooms with color as people stop to take a flower, leaving behind small offerings of kindness. Samir learns to bargain with local florists, weaving marigolds into beautiful chains. A vendor lends him a cart to sell flowers, trusting him to pay later. But as Samir's new life begins, challenges arise. A thug smashes his stall. Rain drowns his flowers. Yet Samir does not give up. His hands bleed as he rebuilds. His spirit, stronger than before. His resolve, unbroken. Months later, the businessman returns. Samir stands tall, now dressed in a crisp kurta. His face, no longer marked by despair, but by quiet pride. He offers Mr. Kapoor a lotus, the symbol of his transformation. Mr. Kapoor stares at Samir, his eyes widening in disbelief. "You understood," he says. "Business isn't about money. It's about value." Samir smiles, a smile that speaks of strength, growth, and perseverance. No longer a beggar, he stands as a man reborn, a force to be reckoned with. The station still hums with life. But now, where once there was a beggar, there is a flower stall. Children laugh nearby, learning from Samir's daughter, who now teaches others the value of kindness. The 500 rupee note is framed on the wall, a reminder that even the smallest seed can shatter concrete. The world spins on, but Samir, now a businessman, spins with it. His life is no longer a story of despair, but one of hope and transformation. Because you are not defined by what you've lost. You are shaped by what you give: a flower, a smile, a second chance. Success is not a transaction, it's a transformation. Even in the cracks, there is light. Even in emptiness, there is worth. You just have to plant the seed and believe.